How you doing, folks? Well, we're having another crack at this Beetle here, trying to get the brakes working on it now. Given the fact that they were almost non-existent the last time we took it out for a spin, we can't have that. So I'm just putting a few finishing touches to it here. I'm not going to bore the arse off you with it, to be honest. Basically, what I did was I just took the brakes apart, freed up the adjusters, and made sure that they were functioning all right, and had another go at adjusting them. Now, I haven't adjusted this side, but I've adjusted the other side, and just the slightest little drag when the brakes are off, and when the brakes are on, it's locking up nicely. So I'm going to basically get it the same on this side, and then I'll just check over the back and make sure everything is all right on the back there too, and we should be able to get it out onto the road again. Now, there is a couple of little jobs just to be done on the engine, just to finish that off as well. Darren came up and gave it a belt of a wet cloth. To be honest with you, I think it looked better before it was cleaned, but there you go. Hashtag messy worker. Anyway, what I need to do is I need to fit this piece of tinware at the back, because the engine's getting hot and bothered, and it would do because this tinware is not there. If this tinware is missing on a Beetle, what happens is the engine will suck in the cold air or the hot air from the back of the car that it's supposed to be discharging out the back, and basically recycle that hot air which it's trying to use to cool the engine. So you can imagine it's kind of a vicious cycle. Now, unfortunately, this tinware is slightly wrong in that where these little notches are on this side need to be cut out, because this has heat riser tubes, and this is made for a car that doesn't have heat risers, i.e. my car, because that's what that's off. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to get stuck in and get those brakes finished, get the engine sorted out, and get the fresh air ducts from the fan shroud down to the heat exchangers installed, and take it out in the open road. So let's see how we get on. Well, I found the problem anyway, just to kind of fill you in. The slave cylinder is seized up, so I've taken the pistons out of it, and I'm going to just dress them up and pop them back in. Hopefully we'll have a good working set of brakes on this now. Obviously, if it doesn't fix the problem, I'm going to be replacing the slave cylinder, but I haven't got one at the moment, so I may as well try and fix what we have before going any further. That's just from sitting up with crappy brake fluid in it for a long time, you know. I mean, it's just corrosion sets in, because brake fluid is hygroscopic, so that means it absorbs water, and when it absorbs water, that causes corrosion. So anyway, at least we've gotten to the root of our problem. So I'll pop them back in, and we'll hopefully have a good set of brakes. All right, I think we're good to go for a test drive now. I've got all the brakes sorted out, or at least I hope I do. 3 of the 4 slave cylinders were seized up, and I actually do have my seatbelt on, even though I'm not entirely sure I want to strap myself into this car. I think the best thing to do would be to actually jump away from it if you thought you were going to crash. Anyway, at least the engine seems to be working all right, so we'll go for a good spin. Brakes work. Okay, let's hit the open road. Down the road. Right, let's try the brakes. Not behind me. They pull off to the left. chance anyway now. And I can pull it up at a junction here, and I was able to stop. It didn't feel like it pulled actually. Maybe it was just that things needed to bed in or whatever. I'd say I could probably do a bleeding the front brakes a little bit more. Okay, I'll open the taps. Why do I love classic cars, particularly Beetles? Well, just look at my face. You know, 54 horsepower when new from this engine, and no, it's not fast, but it's fun. There we go. Sounds like a lawnmower on steroids with that exhaust. No speedometer either. No driver's side mirror. No screen washing I can do with it. The windscreen is filthy. So yeah, it's far from perfect, but it's a very enjoyable little car to drive now, and it's by no means unsafe now. You just have to be aware of the fact that you're driving a 74 car, you know, that probably could do with a little bit of tidying in places and a new back tyre. But that's what you'd be kind of buying into, really, isn't it? I don't have much of a basis for comparison for the standard drum brakes. I can feel it pulsating in the drum here, and I would say, I'd say there's probably a warp drum or something like that. Right, let's see why it's idling so fast as well. Okay, so with Beetles, the throttle position or the throttle stop is not supposed to be the thing that you use for adjusting your idle speed. So it's actually backed off, so it's not touching. There you go. That's all it was. So it should be just literally just about to touch, but not quite touching. So that's how you set that up. And your idle speed is actually set by see the big screw in there. That big screw is for your idle speed, and the bottom one then is for your mixture. So anyway, that's ticking over lovely now. So now you can see we have a piece of rear tin missing, so we're going to have to fit that. Now obviously I've made life difficult for myself because the engine's now hot, and the propensity for burning myself is there now, but we'll persevere. I need to do a little bit of a modification to the tin I got, because it actually doesn't have provision for the heat riser too. So for these pipes to go up here, the inlet manifold, to get heat up to the manifold. So anyway, we're definitely getting there, folks. Let's turn off the engine. Right, folks, the moment of truth. The owner's taking it out for a spin. Yeah, there's definitely a few jobs that still need to be done on it, but I think we've got it to the point where it needs to be now, you know. I got the tin wear on and the fresh air ducts and that on the engine as well. Tweaked the engine a little bit and away she goes. The confidence check on the brakes, always a good idea. One of the lads up in the shed here very rightly pointed out that it is that there is oil on the floor from where the Beetle was. Now, if there wasn't any oil on the floor under it, I'd be definitely checking the oil to make sure there's actually any oil in it. Whereas I also said it's not leaking oil, it's sweating power. Speaking of which, front of it isn't stoved in, so that's definitely a good sign. It needs a new exhaust, we know that. I'm not going to be doing that though. That's a job for the new owner, because this car will be going up for sale. Warts and all. There's not going to be anything hidden, in fairness. Okay folks, so I think we brought this as far as we're going to. It runs well, pulls along really well, gets through the gears nicely, and the engine is as sweet as the gearbox, suspension, steering. Brakes are okay. So it starts, stops, drives, and it is what I would call an honest car. There's nothing is going to be hidden in this case. So yeah, basically, what are we dealing with now? Yeah, it definitely needs a bit of body work. There's no doubt about that. You know, I mean, it probably could do with a pair of heater channels. It needs a rear valance. It needs an exhaust. I suppose you could, you know, stick a new set of shoes and springs in it at some point or another to get the brakes 100%, or do a disc conversion on it, which would be better again. A few little bits and pieces, like the doors have the pillarless conversion, seal is arseways on it, so that needs to be fixed. Passenger door is still a bit stiff to open and close. It's certainly better than it was. Needs a speedo cable, gear shift knob, the window washers aren't working, that's basically it, to be honest with you. I mean, as I said, it's a car that somebody could jump into and just enjoy and drive now, you know. I mean, it brought a smile to my face when I was driving it, and you know, it's not even my car. So yeah, look, I think we'll call it at this, and yeah, thanks very much for watching, folks, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And I have a few nice projects lined up in the future anyway as well, including the MGB, which should be arriving to me in the next few weeks. Obviously with the COVID lockdown, things have been stalled a little bit, but we have a few other things in the pipeline as well too, a few little winter projects, and my own Beetle should be coming back to me hopefully sooner rather than later. Although I believe that when I see it, to tell you the truth. Anyway, look at yeah, cheers for watching, folks. Chat to you soon.